Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So welcome all for the morning Bhagavatam sessions. We'll be hearing the nectar from Canto 5, Chapter 15, Text 7 by His Grace Haridev Krishna Prabhu. It's verse 7, Mataji.
Okay, because we heard it from Indradyumna Swami Maharaj. No, that's right. Okay, man.
Oh, Haridev Krishna Prabhu? 7 only. Those are Prabhu said, no?
7 only was told. This one.
Okay.
All
Okay.
are same theme there.
Okay. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees who seek your blessings before we begin. So today we are going to recite and read and share, discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 15th chapter, text number 7. The chapter is entitled Descendants of Priyavrata, King Priyavrata. So this is in prose order. Savai Swadharmena Praja Palana Poshana Prina Anopalalanu Shasana Lakshane Jyadina Cha Bhagavati Mahapurushe Paravare Brahmani Sarvatmanarpita Paramartha Lakshanena Brahmavit Charananusteva Sevyapadita Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena Chabikšnashah Paribhavitati Shuddhamatir Uparatanatmaya Atmani Swayam Upalabhyamana Brahmatmanubhavopi Nirabhimana Evanim Ajugupat. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Saha, that King Gaya. Why? Indeed, Swadharmena, by his own duty, Prajapalana, of protecting the subjects, Poshana, of maintaining them, Prinana, of making them happy in all respects, Upalalana, of treating them as sons, Anushasana, of sometimes chastising them for their mistakes, Lakshanena, by the symptoms of a king, Ijya Adina, by performing ritualistic ceremonies as recommended in the Vedas, Cha, also, Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, Mahapurushe, the chief of all living entities, Para Avare, the source of all living being entities, from the highest Lord Brahma to the lowest like the insignificant ants, Brahmani, unto the Parabrahman, Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, Sarvatmana, in all respects, Arpita, of being surrendered, Parama Artha Lakshanena, with spiritual symptoms, Brahmavit, of self-realized saintly devotees, Charana Anusevaya, by the service of the lotus feet, Aphadita, achieved, Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena, by the practice of devotional service to the Lord, Cha, also, Abhikshnashaha, continuously, Paribhavita, saturated, Atishuddhamatihi, whose completely pure consciousness, full realization that the body and mind are separate from the soul, Uparata Anatmye, wherein identification with material things was stopped, Atmani, in his own self, Swayam, personally, Upalabhyamana, being realized, Brahma Atma Anubhava, perception of his own position as Supreme Spirit, Api, although, Nirabhimana, without false prestige, Eva, in this way, Avanim, the whole world, Aju Gupat, ruled strictly according to Vedic principles. Translation. King Gaya gave full protection and security to the citizens so that their personal property would not be disturbed by undesirable elements. He also saw that there was sufficient food to feed all the citizens. This is called Poshana. He would sometimes distribute gifts to the citizens to satisfy them. This is called Prinana. He would sometimes call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. This is called Upalalana. He would also give them good instructions on how to become first-class citizens. This is called Anushasana. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. Besides all this, King Gaya was a householder who strictly observed the rules and regulations of household life. He performed sacrifices and was an unalloyed, pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was called Mahapurusha because as a king, he gave the citizens all facilities, and as a householder, he executed all his duties so that at the end, he became a strict devotee of the Supreme Lord. As a devotee, he was always ready to give respect to all other devotees and to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. This is the Bhakti Yoga process. Due to these transcendental activities, King Gaya was always free from the bodily conception. He was full in Brahman realization, and consequently, he was always jubilant. He did not experience material lamentation. Although he was perfect in all respects, he was not proud nor anxious, nor was he anxious to rule the kingdom. Purport. As Lord Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, when he descends to the earth, he has two types of business: to give protection to the faithful and annihilate the demons. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Since the king is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is sometimes called Naradeva, that is, the Lord as a human being. According to the Vedic injunctions, he is worshipped as God on the material platform. As a representative of the Supreme Lord, the king had the duty to protect the citizens in a perfect way so that they would not be anxious for food and protection, and so that they would be jubilant. The king who would supply everything for their benefit, and because of this, he would levy taxes. If the king or government otherwise levies taxes on the citizens, he becomes responsible for the sinful activities of the citizens. In Kali Yuga, monarchy is abolished because the kings themselves are subject to the influence of Kali Yuga. It is understood from Ramayana that when Vibhishan became friends with Lord Ramachandra, he promised that if by chance or will he broke the laws of friendship with Lord Ramachandra, he would become a Brahmana or a king in Kali Yuga. In this age, as Vibhishan indicated, both Brahmanas and kings are in wretched condition. Actually, there are no kings or Brahmanas in this age, and due to their absence, the whole world is in a chaotic condition and is always in distress. Compared to the present standards, Maharaj Gaya was a true representative of Lord Vishnu, and therefore he was known as Mahapurusha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanyutamsya Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauravtvashe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I again seek the blessings of all the devotees before I begin discussing this verse. So this is a chapter where mainly lot of the names are mentioned. You will see in Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami, when he is narrating sometimes descendants of a particular king, he goes on narrating, and whenever there is some extraordinary or special king, there he elaborates. Similarly, that is what is seen here. So after Maharaj Bharat, if you see here, the son of Maharaj Bharat was known as Sumati, that was told. And just like Rishabhadev, he also followed the path of Rishabhadev, like that. So, of course, then Sumati's son was named Devatajit, and Devatajit was born to Sumati and Vriddhasena. And then in the womb of Asuri, who is the wife of Devatajit, a son named Devadyumna was begotten, and Devadyumna in his wife Dhenumati got a son named Parameshti, and Parameshti in the womb of his wife Pratiha got Suvarchala. And then Pratiha, there is one verse mentioned about Pratiha. He personally propagated the principles of self-realization. In this way, not only was he purified, but he also became a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and directly realized him, like that. And in the womb of, so this is one other reason why Bhagavatam is also called Amala Puran. Only wherever there is any connection to the Supreme Lord, his devotional service, there is elaboration given. Otherwise, for such people, maybe the other activities are also glorified. But in general, otherwise, it's not like a history book where every king's activities are elaborately described. And in the fifth shloka, it is said, Pratiha's son, Suvarchala, sorry, Pratiha in the womb of his wife, Parameshti begot a son, Pratiha, in the womb of his wife, Suvarchala. And in the womb of his wife, Suvarchala, Pratiha actually begot three sons, Pratiharta, Prastota, and Udgata. And all of them were expert in Vedic rituals. And Pratiharta, we got two children, Aja and Bhuma, in his wife's name called Stuti. Expert in Vedic rituals. So the wife was also Stuti. The marriages were made in such a way that the inclination of the child and the daughter matched. The wife's name was Stuti. Stuti means prayers. And in the womb of his wife, Pratiharta's two sons, Aja and Bhuma, are there. And Pratiharta's son Bhuma, in his wife's womb, Rishi Kulya, begot a son Udgita. This is Udgata, and here we have Udgita. And from Udgita's wife, Deva Kulya, a son named Prastava was born. And Prastava later begot a son named Vibhu through his wife Niyutsa. Like that it is mentioned. And then in the womb of his wife Rati, Vibhu begot Pritusena. And Pritusena begot a son named Nakta in the womb of his wife Akuti. And Nakta's wife was Dhruti. And from her womb, the great king Gaya was born. And Gaya, what was his quality? He was famous and pious and was a Raja Rishi, best of the saintly kings. Lord Vishnu and his expansions, who are meant to protect the universe, are always situated in modes of transcendental goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. So Gaya was not just an ordinary king, he was an expansion. Being the direct expansion of Lord Vishnu, King Gaya was also situated in Vishuddha Sattva. And because of this, he was fully equipped with transcendental knowledge, and therefore he is called Mahapurusha. This is what is described. And from verses 7 up to verses 13 are all descriptions of King Gaya. 14 onwards, Gaya's descendants are there. So we'll see elaboration of how King Gaya was very a great devotee and Lord supplied everything. Many details we will see in that. So today we'll only touch upon the 7th shloka. So very nice verse. It gives us an indication of what is the quality required of an ideal king or even a leader, father, anything. All of them fall under the same theme. So the first thing is Savai Swadharmena, by his own duty. So sense of duty. The king or any leader should have a high sense of duty. Duty. What are the characteristics of duty? When we preach to newcomers, we say worship to the Supreme Lord can be done on 4 platforms: on fear, on platform of desire, on platform of duty, on platform of love. So there we tell the newcomers duty is a very, very high platform. What is the characteristic of duty? Duty means when one worships the Supreme Lord out of duty, he is very, very grateful to Lord. He's thinking, Lord has given me so much, although I don't deserve. So I need to be very grateful to him and thank him and carry out my responsibilities in a very honest manner. So that is duty. Same way, the king understands that this position is given with lot of responsibilities. There is a saying in the Vedic text, Dharmo Rakshati Dharmaha. One who protects Dharma, that same Dharma will protect him. So this is the first thing, that a leader means one has to understand that he has a great sense of responsibility. In fact, one a sannyasi also, a senior sannyasi of ISKCON, mentioned the greatest gift that one can give to this world is his own example. So the king had a high sense of duty. And what was the duty mainly for? Praja Palana. The first duty of the king is to protect the subjects. Protect in sense of not just bodily platform, protect the body, mind, and most important, the spiritual aspect also. Just 1 minute. Prajapalana, of protecting the subjects in terms of bodily needs, mental needs, as well as the spiritual needs. We can see how Prithu Maharaj, as soon as he appeared, the citizens came with a request that Mother Earth is not providing anything. So he made sure that immediately he went with a bow and arrow chasing Mother Earth, because the earth was hiding all the commodities. So he helped all the citizens to be mentally free from the basic necessities of life, bodily needs. But after that, we see in the further chapters, Prithu Maharaj is giving elaborate spiritual instructions. He's also performing sacrifices, poshana, of maintaining them. So how does a king maintain his citizens? We know that there is only one maintainer, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam, Yo Vidadati Kaman. The king is well aware that, yes, I can maintain people, but not independently, because who am I? I cannot maintain myself also. The best form of maintaining the individuals is by giving blessings of the Supreme Lord unto his citizens, so that the Lord will maintain all of them. So that is a constant theme. You will see even Prithu Maharaj performing sacrifices. They taking lot of austerities. Ambarish Maharaj performed Ekadashi Vrat for 1 year. And we see what is the reason for performing Ekadashi Vrat. Was it only for his own spiritual emancipation? No. In fact, Ambarish Maharaj wanted to share the spiritual piety gained from this performance of sacrifice to all the citizens that way. So very high characteristic of a king. Even we see Prithu Maharaj was known for performing sacrifices. For what? Not so that his material assets are increased, but so that all the citizens can be very peacefully maintained, like that. Yudhishthir Maharaj also, in fact, we see in the first canto, 10th chapter, here, King Yudhishthir, during his reign, the clouds showered all the water that people needed. That means it was neither more nor less, exact as per requirement at the right time. And the earth produced all necessities in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. All the forests, mountains, creepers, in every season, they paid their tax quota to the king by producing all of them in lot, right? Because and because of king was a great devotee, he had no enemy, and when he doesn't have any enemy, naturally living entities are peaceful, unlike modern leaders where they're creating enmity due to big egos and putting all the citizens in anxiety. When will the next war break out? Like that. The living entities were not disturbed by mental agonies. What are these mental agonies? If there is a war going on, then there will be prices shooting up. There may be scarcity of food. Taxes will be levied. So many things will happen. That is a mental agony, even whether one will be alive or not. Right? Prabhupada also writes, when World War II was going on, everyone were running. But Prabhupada was happily cooking kachoris, because he was thinking, anyway, body has to die. But the goal is, when dying, one should remember Krishna. And now Krishna has come in a form of death, that's all, like that, in the form of an atom bomb, that way. Prabhupada was in such consciousness. But generally, all common living entities are disturbed when there is anxiety of war, etc., and excessive heat or cold, like that. So this was how Maharaj Yudhishthir, being a saintly king, nature cooperated. In fact, Kunti Maharani prays also. Wherever Krishna's glance is there, there aushadhi, minerals, all of them will be found. There will be greenery, prosperity, right? Swalakshana vilakshitai, like that it comes. That way. So where Lord glances, nature prospers. So this is the characteristic. And we also see Prinana, making them happy in all respects. How making them happy in all respects? In the purport, Prabhupada is saying, in translation, making them happy is by giving gifts to citizens to satisfy them. When Brahmanas were there, they were given charity so much that Brahmanas would bless. In fact, we see the Vedic society, how it was very symbiotic. The Brahmanas would engage their whole life in doing welfare activity, performing prayer, sacrifice for the benefit of the king, citizens, etc. And Brahmanas would be maintained and given charity by the king. Even Nanda Maharaj, we see during Lord Krishna's presence on planet, he used to give cows, and cows were decorated with gold. It's not human beings wearing gold. Animals were given gold and decorated and given in charity. So that is the kind of so that is Prinana. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says Poshana also means giving enough employment to the citizens. We can see all this currently, even if few leaders are very religious, but in general or pious, in general, the current governments are unable to do this because majority of the population is going on the path of adharma, like that. So he would sometimes call for meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. Like if you see Prithu Maharaj also, he called for a meeting. And in the sacrifice, we see here how Prithu spoke. See, Prithu, first he encouraged all the members by his loving glance, and then he spoke in a great voice. This verse tells the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj's speech. Charu Chitrapadam was full of flowery metaphors, similes, and Shlakshnam, very clear, no ambiguity. Mrishtam, very great. Gudam, meaningful. Aviklavam, without any doubt. Sarvesham, upakarartham, just to benefit all of them. That way, he began to repeat. And you will see, as Prithu is giving instructions, first he is blessing them, and he's not in the mood of giving instruction. He's saying, this is a request or a prayer from me. And he's saying, I'm putting my prayer in front of all of you, noble souls, for you to analyze, decide, and then see if it is right. Just like how Krishna spoke to Arjuna. He's saying, you do vimarshan of what I have spoken, and then you take a decision what to do, like that. So a great leader doesn't authoritatively simply say you should do this, but he puts forth in a logical way and gives the room for introspection and in a requesting tone. Here he's saying, right? So I have Krishna, he's not saying I am the king. He's saying I have been appointed as the king. That means he's understanding that this is given to me, and therefore I have to rule the citizens, protect them from danger, give employment according to respective positions, like that. And by executing my duties properly, I shall be able to make spiritual advancement and please the Supreme Lord, like that. And therefore, as a duty, I am trying to teach citizens about the Varna and Ashram, because if I simply take taxes from you, I will suffer the impious activities, just like in the purport Prabhupada is mentioning, that if you simply take taxes without overall benefiting the person, then we share the sinful activities of the citizens, like that. So, that way. And Prithu Maharaj called for a meeting and gave, satisfied the citizens with sweet words, gave them good instructions how to become first-class citizens. Same way you see, even Gaya was following the footsteps of these people. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. So if we look at current parenting also, many a times as parents in Kali Yuga, parents do portion. They do this nicely by maintaining. They distribute gifts, especially on birthdays these days. Parents give so much of gift to the child. Prina they do, but they never call for meetings and satisfy children with sweet words. Means many a times parents are so busy that even small good activities done by the child, the parents don't take notice, and they encourage, appreciate, and forget about the last part. Give them good instructions. Many parents are just afraid to speak to the children. What if my child will take it in a negative manner? But uh, one can have that confidence when one is doing portion, when one is doing prenana. One, for him to give complete justice, one should also do the uh, anushasana, give good instructions. Otherwise, simply giving gifts and maintaining them without instructions will not help the citizens. It is simply pampering. Even Duryodhana would profusely distribute gifts and keep the citizens happy. But still, Lord Krishna wanted the Pandavas to rule because he understood that Duryodhan was only pampering the body but not doing anything for the soul, like that. And this is about the responsibilities as a king. And what about his personal practice of bhakti? Besides all this, he himself was a strict householder. He observed all the rules and regulations and performed sacrifices and was an unalloyed pure devotee. Therefore, he was called Mahapurusha. And his duties were all such that he became a strict devotee of the, he could focus on devotion to Lord as he progressed in his life, like that. And bhakti, we know that starts from serving and the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. So as a devotee, he was always ready to give respect to other devotees and to engage in devotional service of the Lord. It is said here in the word to word. You see? See, Upapalana, treating them as sons. Anushasana means giving good instruction, sometimes even chastising them for their mistakes. Even Lord Chaitanya, in Chaitanya Leela, we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the Gundicha pastime would also give gifts to people who did good cleaning, and those who didn't do cleaning properly, Mahaprabhu would chastise and tell them, look at others who are doing and learn from them, like that. So Mahaprabhu would do this. Mahaprabhu profusely gave gifts also to encourage. To King Prataprudra, he gave his vastra to encourage him so that he can maintain his life. To Raghunath Das Goswami, he gave Gunjamala and Govardhan Shila, like that. So to all Goswamis also, he would give gifts because the gifts also help. Recently, we are having one Bhagavatam discussion that Swarna Gaurhari Prabhu was mentioning. During the time of marriage, mother gives lot of gifts to the daughter. So the daughter, when she's carrying those gifts and she opens the gifts or ornaments from home, etc., along with just wearing it, immediately she also remembers the person who gave it. Same way, when king or father gives some gifts which are meaningful, it is natural that children, when they see it every time, they remember, oh, they remember the father, they remember the king, whoever has given it, like that. So even Mahaprabhu also used to do that to all his devotees, like that. So that was. And he offered, in all respects, everything to the Supreme Lord. Sarvatmana Arpita, Parama Artha Lakshanena, with spiritual symptoms. Brahmavit, of the self-realized saintly devotees. What did Maharaj Gaya do to the saintly devotees? Charana Anusevaya. He served their lotus feet. And because of that, Aphadita achieved Bhagavad Bhakti Yogena. He was able to achieve devotional service. And not just that, once one is immersed in devotional service, one is continuously saturated, prabhavitaha, in Shuddhamati, pure consciousness. And what is that consciousness? That I am completely aloof from the body and the mind. That means one can give respect to everyone at all points of time. King Rahugana was identifying himself with the body. Therefore, he offended Jada Bharat. Then later he repented and rectified his mistake. Like that. Same way, somebody may identify oneself with the mind. If the mind gets disturbed, then they may unnecessarily, like Daksha's mind was disturbed because Lord Shiva did not get up. And because he identified with the mind, he could not show proper respect to Lord Shiva, like that. So, one Shuddha Matihi means his behavior to others doesn't depend on how his body is presently, the present state of his body or mind, or what was done to his body or mind by others. It is always on a spiritual platform, the response. Uh, like Bhishma Pitama, he was lying on the bed of arrows, body was in a very painful situation, and when he began to speak instructions to Yudhishthir, because Yudhishthir asked questions, at that time Draupadi gives a sarcastic smile, and in that way Draupadi said, "Oh, you are talking about dharma? What dharma do you know? When I was being disrobed, you never did anything," like that. She spoke. I mean, she laughed sarcastically. So Bhishma's body was in a disturbed condition, and Draupadi disturbed Bhishma's mind by sarcastically laughing. But what was Bhishma's response? Bhishma said, "Oh, my dear Draupadi, your laugh, I understand. But let me tell you, although I was very, very uh, dull-headed, not taking appropriate action when you were being disrobed, because I had impure blood of constantly being serving the kingdom of Duryodhan. But now your great husband Arjuna has shot arrows and purified my body, and all that impure blood has come out of the body. So therefore, I think I am qualified now to speak," like that, he says. And Draupadi sheds tears and begs for forgiveness. So this is a devotee in a very pure state of consciousness. Whether body is harassed, mind is harassed, still his response is always on a spiritual platform of Amanina Manadena, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sayishna. So that whole verse is possible for somebody to live only if he is in such a consciousness, like that. Uparata Anatme, wherein material identification is completely stopped. And here, there is one line where devotees may get little doubt. This one. He was full in realization. Not on this. Here it is, I think. Yes, Brahma Atma Anubhava. Perception of his own position as Supreme Spirit. So one may get a doubt. What is the meaning of this? Is it like Mayavad, perceiving oneself as Supreme Spirit? No, it is not like that. In the Sarartha Darshini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually here translates. Yes, you can see here. King Gaya without ego, realizing Brahman in himself. That means he's realizing that, yes, I am spiritual, and also the Paramatma is also situated within him. It is not like the Mayavad that he is himself the supreme Brahman, like that. So realizing Brahman in himself, that is what it is. perception of his own position as Supreme Spirit, and without ego, like that. And because of all this, he was always happy, because when one has no ego, neither insults nor praises are going to affect him. So he's always jubilant. So that is what it is. And towards the end here, Prabhupada is speaking about how in Kali Yuga, the king or the Brahmanas have lost their position. And Prabhupada is quoting how Vibhishan is making a promise to Lord Ram, if I ever give up friendship, let me be cursed to be born as a king or a Brahmana in Kali Yuga. So a Brahmana or a king in Kali Yuga is actually in a wretched condition, like that Prabhupada is saying. And we also have reference from the 4th canto, first, I mean, where there is cursing, counter cursing happening. Here. The first chapter, I think, also. Nandi is cursing Brahmanas also, and Daksha. See here, he's telling what will be the characteristic of Brahmana in Kali Yuga, like that. Because of this incident, there is a curse also given, and not just in Kali Yuga. Brahmanas, after this, generally they start degrading like this. And what is the characteristic? He's saying those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating materialistic education and intelligence are simply involved in fruitive activities. So we see many a times Brahmanas are very proud. Oh, we are very intelligent. We can crack any exam, like that. But in Bhagavatam, it is said this is not a glorification, because Brahmana means Brahma Janati iti Brahmana, but rather he is simply involved in fruitive activities, like that. And may they continue in the repeated cycle of birth and death, like that. And because they are envious of Lord Shiva, Brigu and other Brahmanas didn't take any action when Daksha scolded Shiva. So he is cursed by Nandi, that the Brahmanas are cursed that you will be attracted by the flowery language of enchanting Vedic promises, and always be remain attached to fruitive activities. We also see currently also many so-called Brahminical societies, they are very proud of reciting Rudram, Chamakkam, so many other things, but without knowing the meaning, without knowing anything, they are simply attached to the meter, to the Sanskrit feeling that you get, the nice feeling that you get to the ears, etc. And they take to education, austerity, and woes just for maintaining the body. And they shall be devoid of discrimination on what to eat, what not to eat. They will eat from hotels where food is cooked by unclean people, etc. They won't mind. They will just go with a thread, perform sacrifice in the morning, evening go and eat anywhere, like that. They will acquire money begging door to door simply for satisfaction of the body, like that. So this was the curse given by Nandi. Then Brigu in turn curses Lord Shiva's followers. So we see both happening in Kali Yuga. Brahmanas have lost their position, and those who take up to worship of Lord Shiva, they eventually become atheist. They keep long hair, they take wine, flesh, etc. So all these are happening. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said that the topmost Brahmana is a Vaishnava. In fact, Vaishnava is more superior to that of a Brahmana. We see so many indications in the scriptures also. So we should be very grateful to be guided by such Vaishnavas and giving us an opportunity also to practice this path. We should be thankful to Srila Prabhupada. So with this, I think I will stop. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please forgive me if I spoke something beyond my realization. Just before we end, I wanted to also share one more small verse on the austerity of speech. Uh, uh, here. Austerity of speech. So, how should one speak? Because in this verse, also it is said he was speaking in a very nice way to satisfy them, etc. So, here it is said, ideal speech means anudvega karam vakyam. One speech should not agitate the minds of others. Satyam. It should be truthful. So generally what happens when we speak the truth, we agitate others. That is not a very right speech, Krishna says. We must speak the truth, but without agitating the mind of others. Priya hitam cha. It should be something dear to that person. Hitam, beneficial for that person. Swadhyaya, in line with Vedic study. Abhyasanam chaiva, like that. So, words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others. Sometimes we speak pleasing words, not agitating to others, but it may not be beneficial. Maybe truthful also, but it may not be beneficial. Some general topic we may speak. So all of these must be there in a good speech. That's how he used to speak. All great things used to speak to encourage the subordinates. Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, Haridev Krishna, for wonderful insights. I felt that the Bhagavatam is very consistent in its message at all places, whether it is the comparison Prithu Maharaj and Kingaya. It's Bhagavatam. So that's how a scripture should be, right? Wonderful. Never changing its message. Srila Prabhupada was always like that. So thank you so much for sharing these wonderful insights. I'd request devotees to unmute and if they have any questions, comments, and inputs, please share. Maybe I can start, probably, if
Yes.
nobody else. One thing which I want is you actually started with the family. I mean the description of the sons and the sons and the daughters, and that how Bhagavatam. Probably, is there any anywhere it is mentioned how it is relevant, like mentioning that? Because
Okay. Even I think Prabhupada in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in one of the uh, shlokas, because even Bhagavad Gita first chapter, we see all the names of the people assembled in the war,
yes,
etc., are mentioned. There, Prabhupada is mentioning that it may look like waste of time. What is the use of reading their names? Nothing to do with this one, like that. But I'm not able to recollect what Prabhupada has said. I think the connection to Krishna makes it meaningful to talk. Now here also Maharaj Gaya. Naturally, when we talk about Radhanath Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj, or any other sannyasi or great devotee, naturally we also see that their parents, we are grateful to them for giving such a wonderful acharya or guide in our life. So that way, remembering the lineage, I think we can say it is still spiritual.
yes, Pranay, definitely. Thank you so much. Anybody else has any other question?
Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu. Thanks for a very nice class. Prabhu, in relation to that question Prabhu asked, I remember reading somewhere that it is to stress that it is not a mythology, but it is really it happened. So that is why they are narrating the names like that. I heard Prabhu. I don't know whether I'm
Wonderful,
correct.
wonderful point. Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. And also regarding Bhishma Deva Prabhu, I read that when Draupadi Mata asked like that, he said that he was waiting for the Lord. He wanted to glorify the Lord, so he was waiting for the Lord to come and protect Draupadi, like that.
Oh,
I read.
okay.
So, hope it is correct.
I don't, I haven't read Mahabharata fully, Mataji, that, but I think you've heard it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else has any other further points? I think there are none. Prabhu. So we'll end here, Prabhuji, with Vaishnava Pranams, Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you all. We'll meet again same time tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again.
Hare
Hare Krishna.